Alright, guys, so let's move on with the Nightmare on Elm Street series so we can finish that off. We're at Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5, The Dream Child from 1989. Now, I mentioned in Part 4 in the last video that this just isn't my series past Dream Warriors. So, didn't really enjoy 4 that much on that rewatch. So, I remember Dream Child being like just as bad. And I'm not saying they're bad movies, but just nowhere near the first 3, obviously. So I remember the same thing for Freddy's Dead for 6. I luckily love Wes Craven's New Nightmare, and the remake's abysmal. So that'll be fun to get through. But let's talk 1989's Nightmare on Elm Street, Part 5, The Dream Child. At least the opening credits are unique, like with the blue names and stuff. You don't see that every day. Alright, so if I remember correctly from the last time I saw this movie, which was years and years ago, this, like I said, not a series I watch often past Dream Warriors. But if I remember correctly, then we have Alice returning from the last movie, and now she's pregnant, and Freddy wants to use the baby for some reason. I don't remember. But we get a nice little shower scene in the beginning here, and then the water starts like flooding out of everything. It just starts rising in the shower, and she starts like almost drowning, then basically drowns and dies. So I guess she was dreaming. I'm kidding. She doesn't drown. But seriously, it took that long to push the door of the shower open. I mean, I get it. I know she's in a nightmare, but I don't know. It was just I thought of that. And correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm pretty sure I'm wrong. K and B didn't do the effects in this movie, right? I'm thinking of Halloween 5. Maybe they did Nightmare 4? I know they did the effects work on one of the Elm Street movies. I don't think it's this one. I think I'm thinking of Halloween 5, not Nightmare 5. So I'll look it up and I'll find out, but I'm pretty sure K and B doesn't do the effects here. Okay, so K and B does do work on this movie, but only on like one effect, on like with Freddy's head emerging and stuff. Like that's all they worked on. So we do have K and B in here, which they're fucking amazing in every movie that they do effects for, but it's only for one effect. But I thought I was right, so I was sort of right. But now we have the opening here after her little naked shower and stuff, and she's having the nightmare after she falls out of the shower that she's in the asylum, that Freddy's mother, we found out in Dream Warriors? Yeah, in Dream Warriors, that she was raped by like 100 of the patients there and was impregnated, and that's how Freddy was born, of like 100 maniacs. And we see her walking through the asylum with all the patients all over the place, and she ends up waking up. So let's see what happens next. And again, just with me being a continuity whore, different actress playing Alice. So I hate that. I hate that in franchises. Oh, I'm sorry. No, it is the same actress. She looked different for some reason. So I take back what I said. Continuity whore has taken it back. So we're good. We have the same Alice. Who carries at graduation a big ass lollipop around? Like, no one is the fucking answer. Like, who does this? Like, that's so weird. They just went through graduation, so they were going up on stage, getting their diploma. Then they threw the hats, I'm guessing, and then they come and they're congregating here and talking. This motherfucker had a big ass lollipop the whole time? I don't think so. Now I can already say, just from memory and just from the 15, 20 minutes here of watching these characters, they're just not likable characters. And it was the same problem for me in 4. Like, Alice, she's fine, but she's not Kristen, and she's not Nancy. Like, she's not at that level of, like, you care that much about those characters. And same with Jesse. For people who love the second movie just like I do, was my favorite in the series, which I've said. Those were all characters that I loved dearly. And all the kids in Dream Warriors, just that whole cast, is so likable and relatable and stuff. And then just the characters in 4 and this are just, they're just not anywhere near that. Like, they just feel like just generic characters, just thrown in just so we can get Freddy killing people. Like, none of them I care about. I don't even know any of their names yet. Like, I'm sure, I think Max is one of them. I can be completely wrong on that. So that just shows, like, with the characters in the last movie and this movie, that they just don't have it. They just don't have that likability, relatability, or anything like that. That you care for these characters and want to cheer for them and want them to, beat Freddy. At this point, and it happened in the Friday the 13th series, it happened in the Halloween series, as they all went on, same thing pretty much. That they just become bodies to be killed. And it's fine, because I love some killing, so let's get to some killing. So there's like 6 jump rope girls here. Now, like, are these all kids that Freddy murdered? I never even, like, thought of that. Like, even from the first movie. Are these kids, all these girls, like, part of the 20-30 kids? Well, 20 kids, and then 30 or so added on for, like, from the first movie onward. I think, right? But are those some of the kids that he killed? Because who the fuck are they, if not? And why are there 6 of them? So I'm going to go with they're possibly the victims of Freddy before he was killed. Sounds about right. Correct me if I'm wrong, if they explain it in 6, which I don't remember. I don't think they do, but for huge fans of the series, like, let me know if that's ever explained or explored in any way. That the jump rope girls, who exactly they are they just a figment, of whoever's dreaming's imagination, and that they're just part of a nightmare? Freddy uses them to creep you the fuck out, or are they the children that were murdered by Freddy? Let me know. So we have Alice having a nightmare or vision or something of Krueger's mom when she was giving birth in the asylum. And gotta say, like, it's a good scene, like, when she's giving birth. But the little Freddy baby looks fucking awesome. Like, he really does. Like, I remember this now. Like, really cool how they did just the whole design of little baby infant Freddy. Like, really cool. Alright, I had to pause real quick to get some orange juice, and I had to take care of my neighbor, so she'll never be seen again. Alright, so that whole scene with, in the church with baby Freddy, and then the church is like fucking collapsing and everything, and Freddy grows from the baby into his full self. That's awesome. That whole sequence is great. But again, like the last movie, I don't care for Freddy's makeup in this. Like, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look like evil Freddy, like from the first 3 movies. Especially in part 2. Like, that's the most, for me, the most evil looking Freddy, the most dark Freddy, like, for sure. The makeup in the last one and this one just, I don't know, there's just something about it that doesn't look right for me. So I can't pinpoint exactly what it is. But anyway, we get the mother of Freddy showing up and basically telling Freddy that he was a curse upon humanity, and that she has to take his life, has to end his existence. And we get a nice little line of, "We'll see, bitch, we'll see," as he starts, like, backing up and disappearing. And then Alice says, like, "How do I put your body to rest?" And she says, "Find me in the tower." So we're going to the Dark Tower next. And if I remember correctly, this movie came out, I think this was like the height of popularity for Freddy and for Nightmare on Elm Street when this movie released. Because didn't Freddy's Nightmares, the TV show, didn't that come out like right when this did? Or like right afterwards? So it's, see, fucking Freddy can't even hang on, man. Like, how do I deal with this dream demon? But like I was saying, now I forgot because fucking Freddy. Thanks, Freddy. I remember. Yeah, so wasn't the show, like, it just came out or was coming out right after this movie? So, like, Freddy in England and stuff was just at the peak of popularity at this point. And a lot of it, I think, has to do with after Dream Warriors, they started rushing these movies out. Because the last one was 88, this is 89. I forget when Freddy's Dead came out. Was it 1990? The next year? Or a few years after that? Was there a gap? I don't remember. But I'm pretty sure this is like the height of popularity for this series. Alice calls whoever the fuck that is. Like I said, I'm not remembering these names. Calls someone and says that Freddy's back. And he asks, like, how is that possible? Whatever. And she says, I don't know, maybe he dreamt himself back to life. Or some shit like that. What type of stupid fucking reason is that? Like, really? Like, that's what we're going with now? Freddy can just dream himself back into existence. Like, really? Like, they couldn't think of anything better than that. I don't know if that's really what happened. Or that's just a theory of hers. But either way, it's fucking stupid. Stupid. Dan, the guy's name is. And then he hears, like, over the radio, like, his mother's voice saying that he fell for that whore, Alice. Then it turns into Freddy's voice, and then Freddy's in the passenger seat, and he's drinking fucking, like, alcohol, and, like, this is so dumb, man. Like, this is when the series really started getting really stupid. Like, with just dumb ideas, and with just making Freddy just more comedic, and it doesn't work for me. Versus, like, Chucky in the Child's Play series. It's one of my favorite franchises in horror. I covered the whole thing, by the way. Nice little self-plug. So if you want to check out the entire series of Child's Play, check out my playlist. So that was a nice little plug. Check it out. But Chucky, I love from the first Child's Play. Second one's my favorite. Third one's my least favorite in the whole series, but I still love it. He was more serious. Then he started getting way comedic and over the top with Bride of Chucky and Seed of Chucky, which I adore both of those, especially Seed of Chucky. I then went back kind of to like a mixture of both, but more like back to his evilness in Curse of Chucky and Cult of Chucky, and the TV series is like a mix. It works for me, though. Like, that works. Just because of Brad Dourif's, voice acting and just Chucky's character in general, and just that progression works for me. But for Freddy, it's supposed to be a terrifying dream demon that murders you in your sleep. And just taking him the comedic route, that doesn't work for me. And maybe that's probably a huge reason, it is, of why I don't care for 4 through 6. Because they just get way too over the top. Like I said, with him fucking chugging alcohol and shit, like he's having a grand old time partying. Like, that's so weird. It's so out of place. Like, I don't know. It doesn't work for me. I remember this, too. With Dan and stuff, and Freddy, like I said, was in the passenger seat, and then he turns into like a fucking motorcycle or some shit. I wasn't paying attention. I was talking. But then Dan wakes up from his nightmare like right when the truck is about to collide with him, and they have a huge fucking crash, and like he's burning alive, dead in the car and stuff. That's cool. That's a cool little crash scene and a cool little death scene. But I mean, it's not Freddy killing him in like an imaginative way. Like, that's what another big thing with this series is for me. This, especially the first 3 is the creativeness of the kills. Like, you have Jason, you have Leatherface, you have Chucky, you got Michael Myers, fuck Scream. I think I might just say that in every video from now on, because I can't stand it. I can't stand seeing 10 videos recommended to me every single day that I hop on YouTube for the first time saying, new Scream 6 details, this revealed, and I don't give a shit. End the series. Finally, please. Like, I just don't like Scream. Those of you who watch, you know that. But maybe I'll start just saying fuck Scream in every single video I do, because I'm getting so sick of seeing those videos all the time with just clickbaity titles, and I can't stand that. Clickbait titles, I can't stand that. You'll never see me do a clickbait on this channel, like, ever. Well, The Quiet Place video did have caps of no speaking and stuff like that, but that's an exception. Besides that, it's just the name of the movie, the year, spoiler discussion, and like, if there's a tagline I want to add, that's it. There's no clickbait. There's nothing. I can't stand that. This is getting the tangent here, and this actor here, he looked for a second like the husband of Virginia Madsen from Candyman, which those three movies are coming this month too, like for sure. Like Candyman and the two sequels will definitely be covered this month. Since he is sort of a demon in my eyes, since you can conjure him by calling his name 5 times, so he's kind of a demon. It works with the fucking theme, okay? So it looked like him, but it's not him. Like after a few more looks, yeah, it's not that actor. But like what I was saying with all the other slasher icons, they only are limited to so much with the kills. Like with Jason, Michael, kitchen knife, fucking machete, or like all tools like that you could slash somebody up, or just crushing their head and stuff. Like that's basically it, because it's grounded in kind of a reality. In the Nightmare series, they have complete freedom to do whatever they want for the kills. That's why we get so many amazing kills in this franchise, especially in the first 3 movies. We get, Johnny Depp's amazing kill in the first movie with the geyser of blood coming up, which is just fucking amazing. And then we have in Freddy, in part 2, Freddy's Revenge, just the practical effect of Jesse with Freddy, what the hell's his razor gloves and stuff are coming out of his fingers, and then his arm starts coming apart, and then Freddy bursts out of his chest. It looks so good. Like, it looks fucking amazing. And then we have the marionette kill and the Welcome to Prime Time bitch kill in Dream Warriors, and so many imaginative kills that you can do. Fuck you, Fred. You're staying there for now. That you can do with those other horror icons. And then just to have this guy, Dan, just crash into a truck and then get sucked into the dream world, or become like Freddy takes his soul or whatever the fuck he does. Like, why? Like, yeah, they were doing stuff before that, but again, it's stupid with fucking Freddy drinking and the motorcycle shit. Like, come on. But that's not a good kill. Like, I don't want to see a car accident in a Nightmare on Elm Street movie. So let's see what the next kill is, and if it's better, and it better be. Dun. Alright, so here we get a lot more backstory and exposition, but we find out from Alice that when she's telling her whole group of friends that Freddy's mom, Amanda Krueger, was in the 40s part of this religious order at the asylum and stuff, and then, as we know, she was raped and by 100 inmates or whatever, and gave birth to Freddy Krueger, who grew up to be this killer and was let loose on a technicality, which I think was a search warrant when they mentioned in the first movie. Is it the first movie? I'm pretty sure, yeah. Search warrant technicality. And then the parents of Elm Street burned him alive and killed him. And she does mention 20 to 30 kids right here on Elm Street. Because I was thinking and wondering, maybe a few videos back, if they even continue with the kids and stuff, the group of friends or whatever in each movie from like 4 through 6 are even Elm Street kids anymore. So that kind of answers it. So they do live on Elm Street. So it's still a Nightmare on Elm Street. And I mean, the actor Lisa Wilcox, if my memory serves me, is that her name? Oh shit, I just realized you can see the movie in the window reflection. I wonder if YouTube is going to take that shit down. But fuck YouTube. I don't give a shit about anything that they do. Alice, she gives a decent to good performance in this. But in that scene with her explaining everything, and then her just saying, like, something's wrong, and, like, he's back, and I don't know what... She overacts a decent amount. Like, it made me roll my eyes a bit. Like, like, she's really overacting here. But so far, and in the last movie, I mean, she gives a good performance. But like I said, she's no Patricia Arquette as Kristen, and she's no Heather Langenkamp as Nancy. Like, at all. Yeah, so she's pregnant. I do like the whole little, small little dialogue between Alice and her dad in the kitchen, and he's saying like, "I hope it's a boy. It would be nice to have a, have a little boy around the house again and stuff." And she gives him a hug, and he's like, "Just don't make a habit of it." Like, that's a great line. That's a nice little dialogue there between the father and daughter. Then we have this dinner scene here, like with all these rich motherfuckers. Like, I can't stand that in movies and in real life. Like when people just when rich people, I don't know how to say this without offending some people, but you know me, I don't give a shit. Um, like rich people who like go to like restaurants like this and they have champagne everywhere and the women are wearing gold earrings and fucking jewelry like crazy. Like, look at me, I'm fucking rich. Like, I can't stand that. Like, why don't you just take your fucking private jet, crash it into a blimp, you stupid fuck. Like, that's how I feel when I see like over the top rich people. And we'd get that in that dinner scene, and it's just fuck those people. And if you're rich and you do that, hell, you're rich. Fucking support the channel. PayPal me. Send me some fucking money. You rich bastards. Like, you're gonna be cheap bastards too? Now Freddy's a waiter. And he says, what the hell does he say? Why can't I fucking say that phrase? Bon appetit, bitch. Like, again, like, stupid. Like, come on, just seeing Freddy in a waiter's outfit, like, it's just dumb. Then, like, the girl there, she was talking about how she'll just eat the whole goddamn table and all the food and stuff like that, and Freddy starts shoving the food into her mouth. That looks cool. Like, the effects on that looks really cool, with her cheeks fucking, like, really wide, and there's food coming out of her mouth, and, like, she just looks like she's fucking stuffed in the face. That looks really cool. So, half and half on this scene. Also, Freddy's makeup, it looked a lot better in that scene with him as a waiter, which again kind of takes that away with him being dressed like a fucking waiter and the stupid lines that he's saying. But his makeup does look a lot better than in the beginning of this movie for some reason, and in part 4. So that was good to have. Then we get that cool shot, that little scene with Greta that was stuffed with the food. Kristen opens her refrigerator. No, Kristen. See, I'm thinking of better movies. Like, Alice opens the refrigerator and all the food starts like melting or some shit. And then Greta comes through the fridge and like she's trying to like grab her for help. Like before, I guess she's sucked away to Freddy as a soul. That's a cool little scene too. So I almost said Kristen again. So Alice says that Freddy has to use her dreams to get to her friends and stuff. But yet Dan and Greta died when she was awake. So I don't know what any of that means. I don't remember it. So I guess he doesn't have to use her dreams. Like, it's the only thing you could take from that, basically. We're the Dream Warriors. I'm just thinking of that movie, like such a better movie. Ah! Couldn't make the cut in time. But I just remembered that I never played the theme song for this series in the video. Like, pretty much every franchise I cover, if it has a great score, then I'll insert in a little clip of me playing the theme song. And that's going to be tough for Candyman, man, because that is a hard song to play on guitar. It was always you, Helen, which is one of the most beautiful scores in a movie. I can't wait to rewatch Candyman, which I just saw recently, like 2 months ago or so, with Gareth on his channel. We watched it, which was a blast watching that. But I got to do a video myself on it, and I definitely am playing that fucking theme. Like, it's not even up for debate. So, this is what you get. People who don't watch this channel or just came upon this, you get music, you get horror, you get comedy. What more can you want? You get someone with no filter who will say basically anything until I say the one thing that crosses the line. That's, well, there goes his channel. Like, up YouTube finally found something to get rid of him. Like, that's what's gonna happen one day. Like, absolutely. Like, if this channel ever stops, it's not because of me. Well, sort of. It would be because of me saying something like really offensive, but like in a jokey way, like I always do. But that's the only reason this channel would stop. Is that it's just I joke one time that goes over the line a bit, and YouTube just fucking you're done. Like, we're fucking deleting your channel. That's what's gonna happen eventually. So Alice's son's name is Jacob, and she gets to meet him in a dream, and he says that his friend is Freddy, the one with the funny hand. That's a cute little line. I like that. And then the other guy, what's his name, Mark or something, with the blonde hair. Who gives a shit at this point? He wakes up from the nightmare and stuff after his hands were slashed, and he's like, he's really real, isn't he? Like, look at your fucking hands, man. Like, you didn't do that to yourself when you were dreaming. So, yeah, I'm going to go with the only other possibility that she's right and Freddy is real. Like, I don't know. That was a stupid line. He's real, isn't he? Your hands are fucking sliced up and bleeding. I don't know. And then that worthless character is going to go off and try to find out whatever he can more about Freddy Krueger, while her other friend takes Alice to the doctor to check the status of her baby and make sure the baby's healthy and all that. So we don't know how much Freddy's influence is yet on her child, but like I said, I don't remember this movie. Like, so I don't know if he succeeds or not, but I'm guessing not, because I know Freddy's dead. Alice isn't in it. And it doesn't follow this storyline at all. So it's a completely new story for that. So I'm going to guess no. Now, I don't know if the statistics here that they say are accurate, but the doctor says when he's doing ultrasound and stuff and checking the baby, and this is a cool idea. Like, this is actually a cool premise here, that Freddy is using the baby's dreams. And they bring up, like, she says, can babies dream? Do they dream? And he says that when they're, like, in the first trimester or something, like when they're first, like, as a fetus growing, they can spend up to 70% of their day in a dream state, and even more as they mature. So I don't know how accurate that is, but that's a great idea. That's a great idea here. I just wish it was handled better. But having that whole premise and idea of having Freddy using her baby and his dreams for power or whatever he's trying to do to kill all the other people. I don't know what he's trying to do with this baby. Like, seriously, like, he's a dream demon. What more does he need? I said this in some video. I said, you're a demon and you want to be human. Why? You're a fucking demon. You can do whatever you want. Like, why be a human? And same thing here. Like, why does he want this baby? Like, does it make him more powerful? I don't know. But, like, why would he want to change anything? He's Freddy Krueger. He can do whatever the fuck he wants. He can make a whole dream nightmare state around you and then kill you in any way that he wants. But he wants a baby for some reason. Like, I don't know where it's going, but it is a good premise. Okay, so Alice is seeing a vision or something of her baby being fed souls by Freddy. So that's his goal, is to become stronger and putting the souls of the kids on Elm Street that he's killing into Jacob, into Alice's baby. Okay, I mean, I'll go for it. Oh, I can't stand this bitch, Yvonne, her black friend. just with she's so overbearing with this whole movie, with just denying everything and just calling Alice crazy, and you have to worry about your baby and come out of the Twilight Zone. And then the other dick shows up and with all the information on Krueger and says that like I got visited last night by him like at his house, like it's real, and she's still denying it, and she's overbearing, like she's overacting. She's really overbearing. It's really grating listening to her just bitch over and over again, like throughout this entire movie. Oh, and there's a great idea that he just mentioned. Just abort the fucking thing. Just abort the baby. Wouldn't that ruin Freddy's plans? I don't know what that was. Plans? Wouldn't that ruin like his grand plan here? Just scrape that shit out. Like, get rid of it. And this might be the video that ends the channel. Now that I'm thinking about it, fucking, just I'm joking. But isn't that a good idea? But she says that, it's part of her and Dan's and stuff, and she doesn't want to get rid of it, and they said they'll find another way, which is fine. But if it was really that, like, this situation, and you're dealing with a fucking dream demon, Freddy Krueger, who's killing all your friends off, I'd get $800 up real fast and get to the nearest clinic. Like, just me. That's just my input on this. Family drama, and the grandparents of the baby, Dan's parents, are saying that they want to adopt Jacob and raise him as their own, and it's their grandchild and everything, and she doesn't want to, and she's saying it's her responsibility, and just like skip like all of this, like, ooh, then they try blackmailing the shit out of her. They start saying that Dan was saying that she was having delusions, and then basically that she's batshit insane, and that if they have to take it to court, then they'll get custody of the baby. Like, man, they're good blackmailers. Like, they know what to say. Speaking of babies so much, here's a nice little comedy reference, and see if anyone gets this. It's a great little perfect dark joke. Like, you haven't felt pain until you've seen your own baby drowned in a tub. And you definitely don't know anything about how to wash a baby. Perfect joke. If anyone knows whose joke that is, fucking props to you, and put it in the comments. And if it's not obvious, you can tell I'm drifting from this movie. Like, it just doesn't do it for me. But I will say this, it's better than 4. Like, I like this one a lot more than part 4. So, at least there's that. There's a few good effects and kills in this. The whole idea of using baby Jacob's dreams and stuff while he's still inside Alice is a good little idea, good premise there. England is fucking great as always, but like I said, the makeup just doesn't do it for me. It looks a little weird, but it's just not engaging. Like, it's just, I don't give a shit about these characters. Like I said at the very beginning of this, like, it's not like we have lovable characters like in Dream Warriors or in the first 2. Like, we just don't. Like, maybe other people, big fans of this series and stuff, which, don't get me wrong, when I say I'm not a big, like, this isn't my franchise, like, I adore the first 3 movies. Like, the first one is a fucking classic. The second one's my favorite in the series and a fucking comfort movie for me. Like, I absolutely adore Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, Freddy's Revenge. And I adore Dream Warriors. That's when it falls off for me. And this series probably has the quickest drop, maybe tied with Texas Chainsaw Massacre, of the big slasher franchises. This movie definitely has the fastest drop in quality. 3 films down. Look at Friday the 13th. I love the whole, most of the series. Like 1 through 8, 1 through 7. Manhattan, I still have nostalgia for growing up with it. And Friday the 13th was like the first horror series I saw after seeing Halloween as my first movie, like horror movie at 5, 6 years old. So I have a lot of nostalgia for those first 8 movies in the Friday series. So I enjoy all 8 movies there. I like Jason X, Jason Goes to Hell. It's a terrible Friday movie, but on my last rewatch when I covered the series, it's a decent body horror movie. If they just took all the Jason shit out. It would have been a good body horror movie, but it's a terrible Friday movie. Jason X is fun as shit. Freddy vs. Jason, it's good. It's fun. It's a little fun time. I don't really care for it that much, and I don't like the remake. But I like most of that series. Like I said with Chucky, adore everything that Don Mancini has ever done with Chucky, from Child's Play all the way through the TV series. Everything. The remake, I do not like at all. But that is not attached to Don Mancini. So I can shove that aside. Same with Halloween. I enjoy... The first one is one of my favorite movies of all time. I love Halloween too. Season of the Witch is my second favorite in the series. And I absolutely adore that movie. I love 4. 5 is a little I love Curse of Michael Myers, like H2O and Resurrection. That's when it starts dropping for me. But that's 6 movies or so. This is 3 movies and then just tanks for me until Wes Craven's New Nightmare. And, I mean, it's obvious why, because we have Wes Craven back. And we have Heather Langenkamp back in that. And just the whole meta stuff that goes on in that movie, it's great. Like, I absolutely love New Nightmare. And I hate the remake. Not hate, but it's terrible. So it's just a big drop in quality, like, really fast into this franchise. And it's not a long franchise. This is only, 8 movies? Counting the remake? 7 without it? So it's nowhere near Friday the 13th or Halloween or maybe around Texas Chainsaw, right? There's the first 4, and then there was the remake, the beginning, another 3 maybe. So maybe a few more movies, and Child's Play at 7 plus so around the same. But that's what I'm saying. Like, they are close in entries. Like, how many entries are in them? This one just falls off for me so quick. And then we have the comic book thing with him getting sucked into the comic book, and it looks so bad. Like, it doesn't look good at all. Like, the CGI of him getting sucked in looks really bad. Like, it really does. So, I don't know. Let's see how this wraps up. And then the weird kid's fucking nightmare of Freddy's, like, on a skateboard, like, going... Like, this is what I mean, man. It's just too over the top. It's too comedic. It doesn't work for Freddy as a character. For me, like, it just doesn't. Like, Freddy is supposed to be terrifying. He's supposed to be dark and evil, and that's why I always say with part 2. It's a big reason why it's my favorite. He is so evil in that movie. The makeup on him is excellent. His whole line of "You're all my children now" with the fire behind is my favorite Freddy line in the whole franchise. It's my favorite shot in the whole franchise. And then when I mentioned Jesse, when Freddy bursts out of his chest, my favorite effect in the franchise. All favorites are in part 2, for the most part. But he's supposed to be that dark, evil Freddy, and he's his darkest in part 2. Like, more so than the original. Freddy in part 2, like I said, is so evil, so dark, so menacing. And then we get this, and it's just so over the top, and it doesn't work for the Freddy character for me. Like I said, how it does work for Chucky. It works for certain characters, like certain villains in horror movies, when it goes the comedic route down later in the franchise. It doesn't work for Freddy for me. And that's a huge reason, probably the main reason, that I don't care for 4 and 5, and most likely 6 too. But, and then he turns into like a comic book character or some shit, and like Freddy's face is all different, and I don't fucking know. Yeah, it's Super Freddy, Freddy says it. And then, kind of cool how he turns into a comic book and stuff like that. I mean, the effects are alright, but it looks cool as he's chopping them up and stuff with his razor glove and stuff. That looks pretty cool. Like I said, I like this better than 4. Like, 100%. Like, much, much better. But it's not a movie I'd throw on, like, often at all. Like, if I ever am in a mood for Nightmare on Elm Street and Freddy, I'll just watch the first 3 and Craven's New Nightmare. Like, I just skip over 4 through 6. And it's a shame. Like, it is. It's a shame that these just don't work for me. If they work for you, like I always say on this channel, everyone is 100% entitled to their opinions. Everyone has different tastes. Everyone likes different things. And that's one of the greatest things about doing this channel and doing this on YouTube is you get to meet so many other horror fans that have those different tastes or ones that have the same tastes, and it sparks such great debates and discussions and all of that. Like, it's the best gift of doing this channel is the amazing people I've met and being able to collaborate with them and have them on streams on my channel and being on streams on theirs, and just the more you interact, it's networking, like 101, but you're meeting all these amazing horror fans that you have so much in common with. You share the same passion for horror and just for film in general, and it's the greatest gift. It really is. So, again, really not talking about the movie, but like, thank you to everybody who watched this video, who watches any of my videos, or watches all of them, which I think is like maybe 5 people. Which, whatever, I don't give a shit. I do this for me. But thank you to everybody who, got me over to 300 subs. I'm at 325 now, so 7 more. I'm a third of the way to 1,000. So then I can say, "Fuck you, YouTube. I don't want your money," and you'll never see me monetize ever. You'll never see an advertisement on a video of mine. I've said this once or twice early on in the channel. You will never see me monetize this channel. You'll never see ads on this channel. Why? Because, one, I don't want their money, and that's not why I'm doing this. I do it for me and my subscribers, obviously. And 2 is a point I completely forgot, and I'll remember in a second, and I'll let you know. Yeah, so that worked. So. And point 2, because I hate seeing ads on videos on YouTube. So I will not put anyone through that same shit that I hate, ever. So you'll never see an advertisement on this channel. If anything, the only way that I would ever make money from doing this channel is if I threw my PayPal on the channel and just said, "Hey, if you like the channel, you feel like supporting it, throw a donation." Like, I really don't care. Like, totally optional. I really don't care. But that's the only way that I'd ever make a dime from doing this, because I'm doing this for my love of horror. So, off tangent again, but let's get back to the fucking movie. It's almost over. When Alice is screaming in the nightmare to Freddy, as she's saying, like, "I'm stronger than you, so you picked on someone smaller, you picked on my baby Jacob, you bastard," and all I can think of is Pieces with "bastard, bastard," all I could think of just now. Like, I think of that every time I hear the word bastard, pretty much. Like, if anyone hasn't seen Pieces from 82, it's one of my favorite slasher movies, like, ever. Like, it's so over the top, it's so stupid, it's so ridiculous. The gore is fucking amazing, and just all of it. It's just such a great, schlocky, cheesy fucking slasher movie. And it's a Spanish movie. It's like it's almost like a mix of giallo and slasher. But if anyone hasn't seen Pieces, that's a fucking famous line from that movie. Is just how bad this Linda Day George, Christopher George's wife, just screamed "bastard, bastard" about the killer killing another victim. It's so fucking great. So it's on Tubi. It's free. So check out Pieces if you haven't seen it. If you're a slasher fan, like, absolutely watch that movie. All right. So that little, like, I don't even know what to call it, like a wheelchair with spikes in front of it that she rolls and then it pierces through Freddy. That's cool. Cool effect. It looks pretty good. And then we see all the patients from the asylum back then that raped Freddy's mother, and they're all attacking Freddy. So, are they going to kill him? Alright. This is a weird video, man. Like, I'm not really talking about the movie, because I'm just not interested. But I'm just going on a bunch of tangents. But this scene here just happened with Freddy's arm hitting the ground and spiders coming out of it. And they look bad, man. Because I always say about CGI and stuff. Like, if I'm all for practical effects. Like, I think if you're making a horror film, especially a slasher movie or anything like that, ghost films and stuff like that, I get it. Like, you can't really do practical effects for ghosts and stuff like that for the most part. So CGI is just the way to go. And it can look fine. Like, I don't hate CGI, but I love practical effects. If they need to touch it up with CGI a little bit, that's fine. Or if they want to do a shot or like an effect that is impossible practically. That's how you say it. The word today on Sesame Street is practically. But if they need to touch it up or do an insane effect that they can't do, with practical effects, that's fine. But when his hand hits the ground and the spiders come out CGI, it looks so stupid. And then right after that shot, there's a shot of an actual tarantula, fucking like crawling, and then we see a few of them. You couldn't use those for when his arm fell? You couldn't have the real spiders come out? I mean, come on, man. I mean, you could have done that effect. There's no reason that they couldn't have done that. But they went with just CGI spiders, and it looks terrible. Like, it really does. But, like I said, there's some good effects in here. Then with her running around in the building and, like, the stairs are, like, upside down or sideways and she's running up. That's all cool. Like, cool set. Like, it looks really good. And I love just the whole, like, manipulation of, like, space and stuff like that. That she's walking up sideways the stairs. And really, really cool. Like, I like all of that. And the kid, Jacob, when you get to see, like, his spirit or whatever, like her grown child, Jacob, he looks fucking creepy. Like, he does. Whatever makeup they put on him, like, he looks pretty creepy. Almost to the level of Aiden from The Ring, which is weird that came up, because I was actually debating doing this movie or The Ring. And I went with this because I just got to finish the series. But, like, he looks fucking creepy, almost as creepy as Aiden. And that kid has no makeup on, I think. Like, he's fucking scary and looks half dead in every movie that kid is in. So, it just reminded me of Aiden from The Ring. Alright, so, this right here, with Alice talking to Jacob, and Jacob saying that Freddy hides inside her, and that's how Freddy found Jacob. And then we see her start convulsing, and then we see Freddy's face start coming out of her face and stuff. And 100%, correct me if I'm wrong, but I guarantee it, that was K&B Effects doing the effects for that. And I remember that reading it before I started this, that they just did that one effect of Freddy's head. That has to be it. And you can tell. Like, it looks fucking awesome. It looks really, really good. Like, what a great practical effect. And if you know K&B's work, like I do, like a lot of people do, you can tell instantly that that's Nicotero and Kurtzman and Berger. That it's their work. Because it just looks so fucking good. And again, like, they just pulled off an amazing practical effect. But they couldn't put real spiders on the fucking ground with the hand, with the arm. Like, that's what gets me. It's like seeing that stupid CGI and then seeing a real fucking tarantula that they could have used for that effect, but they don't, and then just seeing an excellent practical effect with Freddy's face coming out of her face and coming out of her body and shit, and it looks amazing. And they couldn't do, like, I don't know, man, but that is such a great effect. Like, best scene in the movie for me. And now Jacob is a demon, and he like has like makeup on that looks like Freddy, and he's saying that his mom Alice is no fun no more, and like he wants Freddy to teach him to be evil. Is he? I don't know. Is he just saying this to try to trick Freddy, or is he really like losing control and falling to the dark side? Yeah, fake out. Whoops! Don't do that. He's not going to the dark side. He was pretending, and he starts shooting something out of his mouth, and it goes through Freddy. Then we have, like, the baby faces that are all coming out. Excellent. It looks so good. I don't know if that was K&B that did this whole baby faces coming out of Freddy's stomach effect. It looks like maybe, because it is fucking good. But I don't think it was. I don't think it was them. But what a great fucking effect there, too. Like, then we see baby Freddy, and he's running around again. Like, really cool stuff. Like, the ending of this movie is really good. There's just so much stuff that I don't care for up to this point, like up to the ending, like last 20 minutes, half hour.